If you always lose the ball, this video will change everything. Not because I'm going to teach you fancy tricks or complex techniques, because I'm going to show you the real reason you lose possession. And it's not what your coaches have been telling you. You think it's your touch? Think again. Here's why you really lose the ball. The brutal truth. You don't lose the ball because your first touch is bad. You don't lose it because you're not strong enough. You lose the ball because your brain shuts down the moment pressure arrives. And until you fix that, no amount of technical training will help you. Here's what actually happens when you lose possession. The defender approaches, your heart rate spikes, your vision narrows, your body tenses up, your brain goes into panic mode and stops processing information. By the time you decide what to do, the ball is gone. Elite players who never lose the ball have solved this problem. They've trained their minds to stay calm when chaos erupts around them. While your brain is panicking, theirs is calculating. While you're reacting, they're anticipating. Why do you freeze? It's a cycle. And here's how it traps you. The panic cycle. Most players are stuck in what I call the panic cycle. Pressure arrives, panic sets in, ball gets lost, confidence drops, making the next pressure situation even worse. This cycle destroys players before they even realize what's happening. The cycle starts before you even receive the ball. You see the defender coming and your brain begins preparing for failure. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. This negative focus actually increases the chances of losing possession because your mind is programmed for the exact outcome you're trying to avoid. Professional players break this cycle by shifting their mental focus from "don't lose the ball" to "what can I create with this ball?" That simple shift changes everything about how your nervous system responds to pressure. That shift is key, but it's more than positive thinking. It's a mindset. Let's dive in. The retention mindset. Players who never lose the ball think differently about possession. They don't see the ball as something to protect. They see it as a weapon to wield. This fundamental mindset shift is what separates ball retainers from ball losers. When Busquets receives the ball with 3 players pressing him, he's not thinking about keeping possession. He's thinking about which of those 3 pressing players just created space for his teammates. The pressure becomes information, not a threat. This is the retention mindset. Pressure is opportunity. Every defender who commits to pressing you is a defender who's not marking your teammate. Every player who rushes toward the ball creates space somewhere else on the field. Mindset's huge, but it starts with your first touch. Here's how to nail it. The first touch solution. Your first touch isn't just about ball control. It's about buying time for your brain to catch up with the game. Most players receive the ball with their first touch going nowhere, which forces them to make decisions under maximum pressure. Elite first touches have direction and purpose. They move the ball away from pressure and toward opportunity. When Modric receives a pass with the defender on his back, his first touch doesn't just control the ball, it moves him into a position where he has options. The secret is preparation. Before the ball arrives, your eyes should have already identified 3 things: where the pressure is coming from, where the available space is, and which teammate is in the best position to receive your next pass. Your first touch should set up at least 2 of those options. A great first touch needs a plan. Here's how to map pressure like a pro. The pressure mapping system. Here's how you eliminate ball losses under pressure. Start mapping pressure before it arrives. Scan once before the ball comes to you. Scan again as it travels towards you. This gives your brain a complete picture of threats and opportunities. Phase 1, scanning. Identify immediate threat. Which defenders can reach you within 2 seconds of receiving the ball? These are your primary concerns. Phase 2, scanning. Identify escape routes. Where can you go with your first or second touch that removes you from immediate danger? Always have 2 options prepared. Phase 3, scanning. Identify forward opportunities. Which teammates are available for a progressive pass? Your goal isn't just to keep the ball, it's to advance your team's position. This 3-phase system eliminates panic because your brain always has multiple solutions prepared before pressure arrives. You're already thinking like an elite with this pressure mapping system. What's one moment in a game where you lost the ball and wish you'd stayed calm? Drop it in the comments. I'm reading everyone and will share tips to help you own those moments. Mapping keeps you calm, but you need to shield like an elite. Here's how. The shielding foundation. Physical ball protection is your last line of defense, but it's still crucial. Most players shield incorrectly because they're trying to hide the ball from defenders. Elite players shield to control defenders. Effective shielding isn't about being stronger than your opponent. It's about positioning your body so the defender can't get to the ball without fouling you. Your body becomes a barrier that forces the defender to make a choice, commit a foul, or allow you to keep possession. Lower your center of gravity by bending your knees and leaning slightly forward. This makes you harder to knock off balance and gives you a stable platform to work from. Keep your arms out for balance, not to push, but to maintain space between you and the defender. The key is active shielding, not passive shielding. Don't just stand there protecting the ball. Use small touches to constantly adjust your position and keep the defender guessing about your next move. Shielding's your defense, but composure's your edge. Let's build that skill. The composure factor. Composure under pressure isn't a personality trait. It's a trained skill. Players who never lose the ball have conditioned their nervous systems to remain calm when pressure arrives. This happens through repeated exposure to pressure situations in training. Start with low-pressure scenarios and gradually increase the intensity. Begin with one defender at walking pace, then jogging pace, then full speed. Add multiple defenders. Add time constraints. Add physical contact. Your nervous system adapts to whatever you consistently expose it to. The goal isn't to eliminate the stress response, it's to maintain clear thinking despite the stress response. Elite players still feel pressure, but their decision-making doesn't deteriorate when they feel it. Composure's great, but speed seals the deal. Here's how to decide faster. The decision speed protocol. Ball retention ultimately comes down to decision speed. The faster you can process information and select options, the less time defenders have to dispossess you. This is where most players fall behind elite level. Slow decision-making creates longer possession time, which creates more opportunities for defenders to win the ball. Fast decision-making creates quick ball movement, which keeps defenders constantly reacting instead of proacting. Train decision speed through small-sided games with limited touches. Start with 3 touches maximum, then 2 touches, then 1 touch. Force your brain to process faster by reducing the time available for processing. Speed's key, but when do you take risks? Let's get smart about it. The risk management approach. Players who never lose the ball aren't risk-averse. They're intelligent risk-takers. They understand which risks are worth taking and which situations demand safer options. This comes from understanding field position and game context. Losing the ball in your defensive third is catastrophic. Losing the ball in the attacking third is acceptable if you're attempting to create a scoring opportunity. Elite players adjust their risk tolerance based on where they are on the field and what the score is. Safe possession in dangerous areas is often more risky than attempting a forward pass. If you're constantly playing backwards to avoid losing the ball, you're actually increasing your team's risk of conceding because you're inviting pressure. Risk smart, but how do you train it? Here's your plan. The training implementation. Week 1. Focus exclusively on scanning. 3 scans before every ball reception. Threat assessment, escape route identification, forward option recognition. Do this in every training drill regardless of the drill's primary focus. Week 2. Add first touch preparation. Based on your scanning, predetermine where your first touch will go before the ball arrives. Practice receiving with purpose, not just receiving for control. Week 3. Introduce pressure progression. Start with light pressure and gradually increase intensity while maintaining your scanning and first touch discipline. Your goal is to execute the same process regardless of pressure level. Week 4. Integration phase. Combine scanning, purposeful first touches, and pressure management in game-realistic scenarios. Small-sided games, transition drills, and scrimmages where ball retention is specifically rewarded. Training set. But the real change is mental. Here's the breakthrough. The mental breakthrough. The biggest breakthrough comes when you stop trying to keep the ball and start trying to use the ball. This shift in intention changes how your brain processes pressure situations and dramatically improves your retention rate. When your primary goal is ball retention, your options are limited and your mindset is defensive. When your primary goal is ball utilization, your options multiply and your mindset becomes offensive. Paradoxically, trying to use the ball makes you better at keeping it. Mindset's power, but it needs action. Here's the reality check. The reality check. Everything in this video is useless if you don't commit to consistent application. Ball retention isn't improved through understanding. It's improved through repetition under pressure. Your nervous system needs hundreds of successful repetitions to rewire itself for composure. The players who implement this system will separate themselves from those who just watched and moved on. Your competition is still panicking under pressure while you're developing elite-level composure. You've got the tools, now act. Here's how to start today. Take the next 2 weeks and implement this scanning and first touch system in every training session. Track how many times you lose the ball before implementing the system versus after. The difference will convince you that this approach works. Stop being the player who loses possession and start being the player coaches trust with the ball in crucial moments. Your ball retention transformation starts with your next touch.